Hester Prynne, Hester Prynne, Hester Prynne, Hester Prynne. Hermione! Oh, wrong story. The first word is somnambulism, and it's just a really big word for sleepwalking. So whenever you need another word for sleepwalking, you can use the word somnambulate. The next word is impute, which means to ascribe or attribute a characteristic or something to someone. And it generally is made, if you make an imputation, generally you're wrong. And it has a kind of unsure edge about it. Scurrilous means using coarse language or vulgar terms. I never use scurrilous language. Or I try not to on YouTube anyway. So, if you've managed to skim over the Scarlet Letter thus far, relying either on your teacher or worse, me, to help you through it, please, of all chapters, read chapter 12. Things actually happen. In fact, the fit hits the shan in a big way. So just read it. Please. Quickly, chapter 12. Minister, sad dour, takes his pity party into the night and ascends the scaffold where he had questioned Hester earlier. He screams, or he doesn't scream, we're not exactly certain, but Mistress Hibbins hears. She always hears. And strangely in that evening, Hester is out, making a death shroud for Governor Bellingham, of course, and Pearl's with her, and they spy the minister on the scaffold, so up they climb. So, also at this point too, Chillingworth, who has been at Governor Bellingham's side, or Governor Winthrop's side, excuse me, because of course he's the dying, governor, so of course he needs to be there. It's all very, very 60s movie coincidence going on. But anyway, at that point, Pearl is very fascinated with Dimmesdale, and as they're holding hands in the evening, she asks him a very important question, to which she doesn't like his answer. So, there's this blinding A in the sky, kind of like this meteor in the shape of an A. Very subtle, Hawthorne. So, there's that. The next day, and an excellent scene of dramatic irony, the sexton finds Dimmesdale and says that he has found O.J. Simpson's glove. Well, not really O.J. Simpson's glove, but Dimmesdale's glove on the scaffold, and he can't believe it. Why on earth would it be there? Perhaps an emissary of Satan had put it there. But that's an excellent interchange too. Just read the chapter, I promise. It's easier to read than others, and so much happens. So, paragraph 3. On that spot, in very truth, in terms of the scaffold, there was, and there had long been, the gnawing and poisonous tooth of bodily pain. Without any effort of his will, or power to restrain himself, he shrieked aloud, an outcry that went pealing through the night, and was beaten back from one house to another, and reverberated from the hills in the background, as if a company of devils, detecting so much misery and terror in it, had made a plaything of the sound, and was bandying it to and fro. "It is done," muttered the minister, covering his face with his hands. "The whole town will awake and hurry forth and find me here." But it was not so. The shriek had perhaps sounded with a far greater power to his own startled ears than it actually possessed. The town did not awake, or if it did, the drowsy slumberers mistook the cry either for something frightful in a dream, or for the noise of witches. Which, by the way, which witches awoke? Well, Mistress Hibbins. Anyway, sorry for my punning. But pay attention to how the sound reverberates, and these kind of devils play ping-pong with it. And then, sure, lo and behold, who will show up later, but Chillingworth. The juxtaposition in this chapter between Dimmesdale's cowardly hypocrisy and Chillingworth's kind of methodical plotting can really be heard in that quote. To Chillingworth, Dimmesdale is merely a plaything. As the three stand on the scaffold, Dimmesdale is implored by Pearl. "Wilt thou stand here, with mother and me, tomorrow noontide?" inquired Pearl. This is about paragraph 21 or so. "Not so, my child. I shall indeed stand with thy mother and thee one other day, but not tomorrow." Pearl laughed and attempted to pull away her hand, but the minister held it fast. "A moment longer, my child." he said. "But wilt thou promise," asked Pearl, "to take my hand and mother's hand tomorrow noontide?" "Not then, Pearl," said the minister, "but another time." "At what other time?" persisted the child. "At the great judgment day," whispered the minister, and strangely enough, the sense that he was a professional teacher of the truth impelled him to answer the child so. "Then and there, before the judgment seat, thy mother and thou and I must stand together, but the daylight of this world shall not see our meeting." Pearl laughed again. But before Mr. Dimmesdale had done speaking, a light gleamed far and wide over the muffled sky. It was doubtless caused by one of those meteors which the night watcher may so often observe burning out to waste in the vacant regions of the atmosphere. So powerful was its radiance that it thoroughly illuminated the dense medium of cloud betwixt the sky and earth. The great vault brightened like the dome of an immense lamp. It showed the familiar scene of the street, with the distinctness of midday, but also with the awfulness that is always imparted to familiar objects by an unaccustomed light. You'd think by now that Dimmesdale would learn not to mess with Pearl. But instead of saying yes to her imploring question of whether he will stand there at noontide the next day, he says no, to which she kind of laughs, and in this kind of great supernaturally dark romantic moment, the night becomes the day, and this meteor streaks across the sky. Is it Pearl's magic? Or Providence? Or a bit of both? Or just this miraculous coincidence? Who knows? But the meteor and the sight of it is seen by a great many in the town. And check out how differently it's interpreted. And Hawthorne loves to do that. That, to a certain extent, some experiences are interpreted far differently for some people than they are others. And I think that that is key. And this difference of interpretation leads us into our final section. This is about paragraph 38, or the close of the chapter. Dimmesdale finishes his sermon, and as he heads down from the pulpit steps, he is greeted by the sexton, who has something of his. But as he came down the pulpit steps, the gray-bearded sexton met him, holding up a black glove which the minister recognized as his own. "It was found," said the sexton, "this morning on the scaffold, where evildoers are set up to public shame. Satan dropped it there, I take it, intending a scurrilous jest against your reverence. But indeed he was blind and foolish, as he ever and always is. A pure hand needs no glove to cover it." Can you just imagine how Dimmesdale's feeling? "Thank you, my good friend," said the minister gravely, but startled at heart, for so confused was his remembrance that he had almost brought himself to look at the events of the past night as visionary. "Yes, it seems to be my glove indeed. And since Satan saw fit to steal it, your reverence must needs handle him without gloves henceforward," remarked the old sexton, grimly smiling. Does he know? "But did your reverence hear of the portent that was seen last night? A great red letter in the sky, the letter A, which we interpret to stand for angel. For as our good Governor Winthrop was made an angel this past night, it was doubtless held fit that there should be some notice thereof." "No," answered the minister, "I had not heard of it." Excellent moment of dramatic irony. Of course Dimmesdale had seen it, but angel is not how he interpreted it.